Hello. If you lost me, I don't know where you lost me. Okay, we're on. Picking up a kind of awkward lost stream. We're doing Fulgrim. We were just doing how we test what 10-time ticket investment we want to make in an event. Hopefully not too much got cut out. I won't play screen lock. See this little white bar at the bottom, right into the battle line? This comes with the iPhone. I'll find an easier way to have it removed next time because I was locking me out of the screen. It's a little annoying. Probably more annoying. So we played Fulgrim, we lost our 3. We thought that he could go further than 6 wins. We'll try and do something different if we've got a cooler option. Trying to just avoid the obvious. So Brampton, yeah, we know that. When a friendly dies, we get strong. We survive. Okay, well, you know what? Let's try playing with some cards. Mech Eagle. There's usually one card in every Warlord batch of decks where they can Wi-Fi. It's cold in northern India. I can take a photo. I guess I can do camera. This is the outside. It doesn't look quite cold, but if you look carefully, yep, that's snow. Anyways, and you're still with me, thank you, God. So you pick Tyro, just to try him. Don't have to cheat too loudly on this. I don't want to take the mech heavy deck. This one's cool. This is an Iron Hands deck. Got it. There's another Iron Hands deck. And, damn, they're all Iron Hands decks. Don't play Orphans at all. Now, what new card did you get to buy? Pavilion Survivor? Cool. Very cool. Fulgrim the Flamer. Fire. Yeah, we could play this. For you. Cool. Battle Robot. Alright. That doesn't feel great, but... You have Sistar in here? No Sistar. If only dies, I guess. To be clear, why this? So we were talking about we want to pick decks that don't have too many cards in them. I could have analyzed these in a bit more detail, to be fair, but hopefully the Fulgrim video didn't cut out before I went over the Fulgrim deck and why I picked the deck I did. So you want to pick a deck that doesn't have too many useless cards. So let's hover over some of them. We would generally consider this a dead card. It's better in event. It's better in a format like event here. It's not generally considered dead. Not super strong, but not the weakest either. These aren't particularly awesome Iron Warriors, but these guys are super. So really, we don't have many good cards in here at all. But virtually no good cards. That's not a bad place to be. The curve is fine, it's got threats, it's got great strong removal. It's really one of the core, no matter what level. Some warlords will be better than others, we all know because Discord. If you have a lot of very, we've got a lot of competitive players on the Discord where we'll share information pretty well freely. So you can find out there what are the best decks to play sometimes, or what are the best warlords to play. This is a cool hand, I'll try it. And just knowing that, if you know that, like, Ulrich Brandon Utter Destruction is really good, for example, that'll just automatically, knowing that it's a known strong deck of the event, it'll help you hedge your bets on having a winning deck that gets you there to 12 wins. That's the dream. I know exactly what I'm doing here with Catalyst. Sure. 5 energy next turn. I like this nifty little Living Survivor 1 for 1. I guess we all get to try that soon with the Athena. The Athena makes me pretty good. See how audible this chewing is while I'm sandwich. Grilled cheese ASMR. Radio silence thing. You guys hear the music? Stream might get taken down suddenly. Oh, very. Cool, smoke bomb. Alright, let's see how this dirty trick works. Oh no! Hello! We're hoping that the fifth support shoots left. Okay, that's alright. Just have no way of making any of these guys stronger. It's a very interesting ability, though, I'll tell you that. But I believe he did make another Breacher squad. Damn it! I really lagged behind on the Breacher defense. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't realize that the music could be heard. And I'd rather be heard. What a sloppy stream. I just had some spare time. I had some spare time and people were asking me to do event stuff, so I'm just a bit of a mess. I've got to run and Hey, who were you playing that we fought 20 minutes ago? Tell me. shoot, it's a random from each? Okay, well, at least it won't kill both of them. Ah, shit. You only on stealth till the turn. Oh, until the next turn, damn. Well, all I can do really is sort of hedge my bets at all. Knock it out. Oh, I think you were the Branton that beat me. You must have been that first Branton that I faced. That was rough. When I pulled the, and then I tried to retaliate with the double hold at all costs. That secret hideout was interesting, though. Hopefully you guys can't hear me chomping too much. Maybe I'll put the music back on in a minute. Unfortunately, he can't get to the... Okay, no more Breacher Squad using abilities, thank gods. You're pretty cool. You're also pretty cool. Okay. All right. Probably better ways to play this ability than how I've been using it with these Pharaohs. Probably ways to be a little more aggressive with it. This Warlords like this takes some adjusting for me because I don't play I don't play guys who do this, but the principles are there basically. Try and milk it. So these buffs are useless to me right now. You go for the tank? Yep. Okay. It's proof we put a decent amount of pressure on. Now we have a Conquistador. Still have a beautiful thread in our hand. There we go. Hopefully no Rack and Ruin. A Rack and Ruin will wreck and ruin this guy. Oh, lame. Okay, we can manage that. And that. Just a question of how. Can deal 6 damage to a random enemy. Can pop my shield. Can deal 5 damage to that. A lot of face damage. It's 3 to deal 6 to a random enemy. Well, I do want to hit him. So I probably just won't use that ability. Can't play Ancient Brandon too. This is a bit of a frustrating pickle. Not super pleased about it. Doesn't create as much advantage as I want it to. Smash it. Okay. Music for a second while I chew. I guess I should say before I chew, since we're trying to do an event tutorial of sorts, a super casual event tutorial, is that whatever deck I'm playing, I'm trying to clear the enemy board and land troops when there's absences. And that puts the ball in my court to basically have some more tempo. What do I want to do here? I don't want to be attacking, not without killing them. Where's it going? I don't think I can afford to give it +2. He can get it to 8. Geez. Maybe gaining Survivor 1 actually won't be. So I could gain Survivor 1 right here and ignore it. Or I can kill it, go down to 4 health, which is better than going down to 2 health, I suppose. And play another threat to finish off the game. Not an awesome spot, but he's played his Contrador, so he's got Rack and Ruined as an out. He could do double precision strike, precision bombardment as an out. We're drawn to all those things now. And it's just a question of if he draws his outs. Then he solves this puzzle before we do. That's a start. Doesn't look like it's going to give it to him, though.
All walls come down. I don't think we're dying today.
That was close. Okay. Let's try a little bit more of that. So this is what we're packing here. What did we abuse? We abused Civilian Survivor with Pharaon's Militia. So that this deck gets to use that as a win con. As an early game win con. This is a win con. He was good. 2 Farum, really awesome. 2 Winnow, really awesome. That was some awkward landing, but I like the deck.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize
By
everything
the iron! It gives me no pleasure to do this.
that you captured, just let it slip. Yeah. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't. He won't have it, he knows. His whole back to these ropes. It don't matter, he's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant, he knows. When he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it don't lose yourself in the music the moment you
This is about to get
horrible mistake was just committed. Really should not have... Yeah, he still got me. Yeah, I really should not have just bunkered up there. Should have just leaned in for lethal. Oops. Silly. Mistakes we made. We've done full lethal anyways. Maybe not yeah, maybe not quite, but pretty close. Not going to go back to counting because it's just going to make me feel bad. I think I'm okay with the amount of troops on board. This is my next play if they get wiped out. Uh-oh. That's a problem. Oops. Yeah, oops is right. Oops. How am I going to solve this? I can play Legion's Pride. To get one of them in play at least. Draw 3 cards. Yeah, that's all I'm going to be able to do. It seems better than... Okay, so if he gives me... You're going to give me Sentenced 1, then shoot me, and then you'll be able to fly and deal 4. An extra frontliner may not necessarily even help. Maybe not more than an extra point of health, because you can just deal that to me directly. So you'll blow away my basic health, and then you'll deal 2, 4. And you'll deal 3. You can deal 2 more points of damage. Or if I can bunker up... Yeah, another frontliner is not going to help me here. Let's just make super beefy troops. Hopefully this is the last of my miscalculations. So a game like this, games like this happen, you make mistakes. If it's a close game, I invite you to go check out a replay that you've made. Because if the deck has roads to victory, but you miss it, it's not really the deck's fault, but it does mostly just mean that you can afford to play it again. Just gotta keep him off 1 damage.
I would order to keep living.
Okay, so the gods still live. We snuck out of that one. Something to be mindful for us. But I would say that if we had lost that one, yeah, it would have sucked. It sucks to take the losses. But I would have counted that a winnable game. Damage. That's something that takes getting used to for different warlords, because they'll have different ways of getting there. Marius, you're cool, you're good. A lot of removal and a kind of bomby creature. Not bad for going second. Not a wild Iron Hands play.
By the iron!
Listen to the
Hard to
cacophony.
tell sometimes whether you conservative lean back or whether you want to be able to push forward. I don't know if you can hear me guzzling coffee like a madman. These streams used to be of higher quality. I'm just so bombarded with work. Haven't been able to set anything up, honestly. But hopefully there's some good learning here. And as I've said before and said many times, Event is a combination of the meta knowledge that you have, what decks you know to be the most powerful. It's also a combination of practice makes perfect with the decks that are good. And it's also just about playing Event as tightly as you can with the cards that you have. You don't have as many game-saving or game-breaking or game-winning cards in your Event deck. You want to try and pick an Event deck that has a lot of strong cards, that has as few dead cards particularly. Strong in Event, but you definitely, some cards, you don't want those. You want to make sure you There we go. Beautiful. Now what do we want to start with? Just get right to Captain. He can kill Captain with Perfection's Flight. which is okay. Yeah. I got other good targets here. He's just a 5/6 this turn anyway. God, stun him. And you're gonna stun me. I love it. Okay. I don't think I need Rain of Fire too much for this matchup. And protect my 6/6. Because as I've mentioned before, if you can get a big troop on board and they don't have an answer for it, you can either win the game with it, or you can create such a vast difference in the health totals, health differentials, or in the game state, and what's going on in the action itself, that you'll win the game like that. Holy smokes, I'm stunned again. Great answer to that. Okay, we'll try the Predator. 5 energy, destroy an enemy troop. Yucks. Oh, is it a cool bass sound when Marius uses his Noise Marine ability? That's cool. Yeah, I really think you should have perfectionized that. You should have killed this guy, because this guy's going to keep getting bigger. Okie dokie. The board there, have no other way to do it. You're gone. These guys are fun. Nice, feel the noise.
So reckless.
You gonna pride it? Oh my god, nice. Oh, I respect that. He did what had to be done. Yeah, he did what had to be done. Now, this is always a tough choice. Do you play the Smirnovs to play the Smirnovs? Do you hold it for when they're with 3 troops? I say that if you don't have any other action, you can't put pressure any other way, play the Smirnovs. I'm just going to be gaining Survivor 1. I'm not going to play the Smirnovs. I'm going to hold it, because I'm liable to just play Legion's Pride next turn. If I didn't have a play next turn like this, I'd probably consider playing it to take pressure. But if you wanted to hold it and you felt good with the removal options you had, that wouldn't be bad either. Trying to like gauge as well as we can if we have enough resources to do it. It's not a great ping, but we'll stop you from getting a lesser demon, huh? Okay. And you will deal 2 damage to my face and you'll help him heal. Yeah, I'll play Legion's side. Okay, not bad. Put him play a lesser demon. Deal 2 damage to him. Cool. We got 3 troops in play. That deserves a chomp of the sandwich. It's so good. It's wonderful too. It's student food. I am a student no more. Student of the world. Take 2 damage. Ow. Holy smokes, my board's just been like swept away. Rain of Fire, great. Okay, yeah, can't miss opportunities like this. When life gives you lemons, you squeeze them in your enemy's eyes.
Like walking into the teeth of a Medusan ash storm.
That's going to be a great line to use to make friends in real life. What else can you say? Momentum is everything. Yeah, momentum is everything. Momentum is a huge part of this game. Any CCG that plays like this. When you have momentum, it's everything, because carry a lot more weight for me right now than his massive monster. Now, how do we want to answer it? Do we need to answer it? can be winnowed just as easily later. Might be just wisest to winnow. We can make back up. Okay. Do we really need to winnow? That's what I'm saying. Can push 5 damage into him, so he just dies any which way you look at it. Can he play anything bigger? Aye. Damn. Well, hopefully this is enough to push with a Ferrum. I don't care that much about that. Okay, so we're killing him. Awesome. This stick can play. Sometimes it looks weird. It's doing alright. And again, just to circle back, why'd we pick this deck? Because the one dead card that we saw in it is conditionally useful in event. And I don't really see any other, I'm not super fond of this, but it did some work for us. Yeah, I don't see any other really dead cards. I don't see other cards that I'm thinking this is unplayable in my hand at any moment. I just picked out what I considered to be the least playable. But everything else is playable. Are there more power cards in another deck, maybe? Maybe. This one's got some good ones. I don't know if we need the Medusan Carapace, but I didn't mind it that game. Like, we had fun with it, but we didn't need it in our opening hand. And the terrible thing is that for 10 energy, if you draw any tactics, they're not doing anything with them. You're paying 10 energy to put whatever you draw into play, so hopefully it's 10 energy worth of troops. But a lot of there's not that many event decks out there that have no dead cards. So it's okay to have some dead weight in there. Just, you want to have, the first step to victory comes with deck building.
By the Isle!
Listen to the cacophony of war.
Whether you're playing on the ladder or an event, it starts with deck building. The rest is just how you're using that. You got me. Do I need an Urlak squad? Not really. That's super annoying. Hooked up to that. Usually if you're an Iron Hand, you want to get hooked up to this stuff as soon as you can. Because the returns are greater as the game goes on. If you get less time with that, it becomes less useful. I like that the base is hilarious. That wasn't planned or anything. But I'm into it. I can use Rain of Fire to kill you guys, or I can use Artillery Strike. I should use Artillery Strike, because Rain of Fire is just better. The whole board twice. Suck it, Survivor. We want to get to this guy, because he's our great finisher. Start laying bodies. So he's got 7 cards full to our 6. He's got the one on us from being on the draw. And the clocks that we or not clocks per se, but the resources we want to look at are what the difference is between our health totals. Not so much the total health, but first and foremost what the difference is between our health totals. So right now he's +1 over us. And how many more cards he has. How much more card advantage he has. He does have card advantage. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Clear the way there. The best deck to beat World Eaters on the ladder? There's a couple ways you can do it. You can play, if you have a very well-built deck and you play very conservatively and very smartly, you can play Othere, the Space Wolf Rune Priest. You can play Perturabo. Perturabo, World Eaters are a good matchup for Perturabo. He just smokes them out. You don't want to play Emperor's Children. You want to play Mortarion if you've got Mortarion. Do you have to deal damage to get the poison through? Yeah, so you have to get through my shield first to poison me. That will suck. It would really suck. Not a super strong turn, but let's do that. Yeah, against World Fulgrim can be good. He does have to do some work against some of them, but Fulgrim can have good matchups. Is overall not unhappy to see World Eaters. Some Fulgrim against World Eaters, so you can play Fulgrim. The other Emperor's Children don't fare too hot. Some Sol if you can be really, really fast on the draw. So Sol and Fulgrim can take on World Eaters. You don't want to be Lucius whatsoever. You want to stay far away from World Eaters when you're Lucius. Oh, that's a good shot. So we're poisoned. We're gonna die. Can deal 9 total and just get really close to killing him. I have no idea what the next set's gonna be. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's Blood Angels or what. I don't necessarily know what order we're going in the story. I got a friend of mine, a lodgeman, who goes by the name of Salt, but he did an entire Blood Angels card creation contest that he won. He did a full Blood Angels set. Incredible. Yeah, I want to see Blood Angels now too, but I don't know when. Hey, we used their power mace. How about that? Situational. Well, we found a good situation. We're on a good roll right now. So obviously, if this win rate can keep up on a single ticket with this deck, we'll write it down, or we'll find some way to remember the deck, or at least the Warlord, and say, okay, I'm ready for spending 10 tickets. This was the deck I did best with on a single ticket. Hopefully some other people can corroborate too that it's good, or I've played it enough times on a single ticket or played it well enough that I'm good with this. I'm confident with this deck. And then you just go play a 10-time ticket run confidently. Fulgrim. I don't want a Predator Executioner. I don't even know if I want the Drukhozan Transport. It's okay.
By the isle!
I'm not going to mock this power. Alright, we got a power base. Cool. Let's be grateful about it. Yeah, it would be cool to be seeing Blood Angels then. We'd start to even the legions too. This is not a hot spot to be in. On the draw, and our troop is smaller. We can start the Smirnov Wars. My recommendation generally is if you have troops like this and you're able to play them and just keep playing them. Like if that's if you have access to I'm assuming you don't have better and better troops to play, granted, but if these are around the same level of your next more expensive troops, let's say, just keep spamming them because they're a renewable resource. Your opponent has to spend scarce resources from their hand or on their board to deal with them. Oh, no.
So reckless.
That sucked. Poor guy. Yeah, be careful not to miss it. Shit happens. So, like I said, I'm gonna milk the the Smirnovs. So we could have played the Xeris veterans, we could have played the Eutropius, we could have gone face for lots of damage, but Fulgrim's so far ahead of us that I don't want to get knocked down badly to a point where I can't win. My health is too far away. 15 health is not a great place to be. This is suddenly more manageable. 10 is normal. We only started at almost the same health. He's just dealt me a lot of damage. Do I think? Yeah, I think we. You know what? We've seen like Titans as warlords. We were expecting that when the game first launched. But given that we've seen stuff like that, yeah, I do think that there's a place for them. I think that we can totally wind up seeing them. Just draining his removal now, and if a couple bodies show up, we'll bring on the Smirnovs gang.
Perfect loss.
He had lots of health on him, but his hand's drying up and your board's looking like that. Neutral cards in the shop. Oh, Celt expansion's not for sale yet? What's in the shop? Don't need this. Oh, buy this. Love it.
All we have is scorched earth and uncertainty.
Okay. Nah. Done. I'm not in love with this. I don't normally like playing this very much. But this is cool. My Warlord ability feels kind of useless. You are good. Just a little expensive. Alright.
By the iron!
Listen to the cacophony.
I used the power mace, I guess. This should be, well... Yeah, we'll have fun with the power mace. I can see the uses of it. Thank you. When the gods just keep blowing a card on you, just embrace it, take a lesson from it. Do nothing. We'll finish off the grilled cheese, though.
Engage!
Whoa. Yeah, I think if Kabanda's that important a character, it sounds like he is, and yeah, we could well see him. I'm going to start with Captain Vargas, and then I'm going to go to McCormick's and Urlach, or I can be versatile and play Smirnovs if I can trigger him, and either Urlach or Zap. I don't know if I want to spend Ferrum on that troop right now. Probably just better to. Because they'll go, they can crush through an Urlach squad and trade with my guy. I think I'm going to start playing aggressively against Emperor's Children. If they have a light start. If they have a heavy start, I'll soak it. But yeah, his warlord abilities are kind of useless. Aside from that one awesome time that it saved our asses from a Angry for Our Blood. What'd you do? Android? Shit. Full hand 9 cards.
Blood of Medusa!
It's brutal. Might have been the right move just to play the McCormick's and a blocker for him. This is a big noise to us. Oh boy. We're calling in. Top decking a beautiful win of the week. Shame we might have to give up our Mount Pharos. Let's just try to dummy it up as much as we can. Hit the 2-2. What are you gonna do?
So reckless.
This Golg is actually good because it costs 6. That was annoying. Okay, we're taking a little bit of damage here, but we're going to push back this tide of foul traders, hopefully. Losing the Mount Pharos to the Winnow really sucked. Could have chosen to play the Smirnovs, but instead I chose to play Medusa and Carapace if we want to hopefully have better I missed it completely. None of these troops are fast acting. 10, 13, 17. Yeah, he's got lethal next turn. Do we have a frontliner? If I kill the fort, okay. Yeah, I'll answer that question when I know whether I have a safe out to this or not. This is not helpful to me. Do I need to gain 1 health or do I need to kill one of them? I'm just kidding. This is terrible. This is a bad spot to be in. This felt like it was at some point a winnable game. I might even go back and look over the replays. I wonder. I don't believe it was just the Winnow. Because now we're dead. We're in dead waters. But we'll kill everything that comes at us. Almost everything. You'd nerf Cadmus Dyro? the card? Yeah. I mean, he's pretty good. I don't believe anything should be nerfed for less than just a week of being out. So we'll see how strong and backbreaking he proves to be. I find a lot of some troops, like whether you stack on survivor bonuses to them or just give them lots of toughness or some comeback ability, like there's certain things that just die to hard removal, basically. You know? And that's one of them. You need hard removal or you need to race and close out the game. So we'll see. We'll see how busted he really is. Him and Barabbas are like bricks. And Tyro creates a pretty good clock. They don't really have that. They don't really have like a finisher otherwise, I don't think. I'm okay with this. Should have maybe mulled the Eutropius. I'd consider the last one winnable.
I am arrived.
It's fun anyways.
Pleased to meet you.
At a loss. Cool. What 2 things would I do to improve the game? I would just create more. I would try and find a way to create a draft mode. Even if it's like, even if it's not draft, even something like a sealed format like MTG does, would be pretty cool. Oh shit! I meant to play the Eutropius. That's fine. So I'd love to institute something like that. I'd love to have tournaments as a game mode. And I'd love to have different forms of the ladder, or more popular tournaments, for example. So something like formats can come into existence here. Because right now the ladder, which is very cool to play, is, if you think about it, the ladder is basically this legacy format of the game where every faction competes against every faction with every card available. And the play that would emerge when you have more limited card pool interaction, let's say, could be pretty fun. I used to play quite a bit of Mac. Well, you know, that's pretty typical for Mac. They have their formats broken up. What do I want to do here? Whatever it is, I'm not super fond of it. So yeah, I'd love to see more game modes, or ways of sort of breaking up the game further. Like, I do want there to always be a game mode where everything can take on everything. It would be cool to experience some different ways of playing with the card combinations. Legion's Legacy, basically. Which, again, not a bad spot to be. I was tempted to play the Bargus. I think that would have been fine too. Love that card. Never seem to generate it with Fulgrim though. Game probably just knows I'm a traitor. Neat card. So now if I was him watching this replay and assuming that he loses, I would take that. Game noise is present. Okay, that should do the trick. I've lowered the volume quite a bit now. Item. Smash. I don't need to save that guy. Hopefully the volume is a little bit more in line now. This is just sort of an ad hoc stream I wanted to do, just to show people what my thought process is when I'm trying to pick a deck to do a 10-time ticket run with. I first spend single tickets, basically. Maybe I'll write some of this down in the video description too, because it's generally kind of helpful info, I think. How bad is this? 11, 14, 16. Can do I can do basically 18 damage to him. That's kind of cool. And he's just juiced up on corn. I like that. Okay. Yeah, totally, Paul. Like a game mode like that, like what you're describing, Paul, would be pretty cool. Where yeah, there's either limits of what's getting played. Well, there have been tournaments like that where it's basically one of each warlord appearing in the tournament. So each team will play one faction. What do you got? What tricks have you got here? Just gaining life? That's annoying. Be nice to draw my Farum now. Yeah, I mean we could put together more. Oh, and I literally draw the Farum. We could put together more game modes like that. It just depends. It's just about getting enough people out to make it worth it. And I think because of the way tournaments are structured right now, because they require you to have a Discord account, you have to be Discord active the day of, and communicate with your opponent. You have to sign up on a tournament website. Like that's a lot of steps to go. That's not how many steps I have to take when I want to play event or want to play on the ladder. I just click. So I think if some of these things were game modes within the game and not run by players or community members, as you were, they'll get more people coming into them, and that could be something fun to spend our gems on too. And the other thing I think I'd like to have, in addition to alternate game modes and expanded tournament modes and stuff like that, or like even like a live sort of league over the year where the points you earn help you get like maybe buys to a big tournament at the end. You conduct it all online, just through the game app. So you don't need Discord or something crazy to do it. But anyways, the second thing I would want would be let us trade in our gems for like very super cool or exclusive cosmetics. I think I have to restart this. Even to have alternates of like chat lines that I can buy from the shop or from like a super like gem only shop. or even to get alternate art for certain neutrals. Like instead of playing Edict of Censure in my trader decks, I can play like an alternate art and name for it, but it's functionally the same thing. You know, and it's called Runestorm or something. It's got different art, but it makes me just feel like I can have a tricked out trader only deck. That would be cool. Like instead of having holographics in this game, you can basically trick out the neutrals to have art and even a different name, but no change in type or text that suits your faction. Or for some of them anyways. That'd be pretty awesome. And I'd sell that for gems. People accumulate gems and there's nothing to wind up doing with them. And there's no incentive to get more gems. Not a crazy big incentive anyways. I'll use gems. I have so many. I've got, I think, almost 150,000, if not 150,000 gems. So I'll use it when a new set comes out instead of buying crates. Every day I'll buy a couple of the cards from the shop. Because usually it's the trader set that I want. And I'm less worried whether I get all the loyalists. So I can bide my time, get them in the shop. Not an awesome proactive hand here, but it's still pretty early, so I don't feel too bad. We'll just gain Survivor. Might be the last game or two before I fly off for the day. Work. Spam decks like Erlen. How do I want to kill you? How do I want to kill you? For now. Yeah, the developers do monthly Q&As. I think it's monthly. They tend to take feedback. Like their response time for balance patches, if it's super severe, it's been within 24 hours, or sometimes within 72, or if it's like, sometimes you can, if it's too early on release, like Word Bearers came out really weak, but last week got patched, so they wait for enough new cards especially to come into the meta to see if that'll affect it, and then they make any changes, if there are even any changes to make. You went for it. Doesn't help me quite as much though, but it will be good to help her get online. You can get buffed again if you want, or you can come at me again. It's the same difference. Yeah, and I mean, I think, I don't know how much they do to limit the popularity of decks. Like, people play World Eaters because they do have very easy... you can play them at really high levels, but once you get a World Eaters collection and you can play World Eaters, it's it's relatively easier to just win a fair few games. And so they do have a high average on the ladder. Like their averages are usually they're almost always above 50%. I think it was 1 month recently where they weren't above 50%. But they're usually above 50%, and they're usually together, especially the lower ranked you are, they're almost like 20% of the meta. It's because one of the advantages you can get in the game is having more health than the enemy warlord. It just makes it harder for them to operate with impunity to remove other troops, let's say. So it's easier to apply pressure, especially if you can afford to take more damage, because then you can still apply pressure with your own face, with your 2 damage or more, whoever you are. And World Eaters do that well. And they just combine it with neutrals that deal lots of damage for low energy. Even if it's a little random like Mortar Strike, Mortar Strike's fine when you're, it's got only 1 target, the enemy warlord, so it'll do 5 damage, or it'll remove some valuable troop or something. Bold of you to attack into me like that. I still don't feel safe enough playing my Bargus, and maybe missed an opportunity to do it. Maybe I could play him now. And play the Pharaons. Makes it a little tougher to answer the Bargus, but even more urgent. You're okay. There he goes. Oh, that's a good answer. You should take it out, though. What? He didn't. Ruh-roh. Okay. Well, as much as I want to play Medusan Carapace right now, life gives you lemons. And so an event, unless you really have a solid hand with good reach in it, what our opponent just did, which was not taking out the Captain Vargas and choosing to deal 4 damage to us to try and further extend the health gap, that was a mistake. Because this not only can the captain heal, but he's just a big troop. He's a big troop, and that attack didn't put him so far ahead that it'll close out the game. But time will tell. This is just speculative. I don't think that it was a good idea to let it live, especially just to have to take even more damage from it now. I'm not as confident about our ability to take a beating as I am confident about his ability to take a beating, because he's very good at taking a beating. And he's literally just replayed the board and cleared. We are in Ugly Town now. We're in very ugly town. Let's just see how ugly. Okay, so he took a lesson from last time. Pretty ugly. Captured Forge helped me more than Ferrum can. Sadly not sure. Yeah, I don't think I can pass on playing Ferrum here. Saved enough damage last turn. This is the way to take the least amount of damage. And still not pretty. And these aren't going to make any frontliners for us. A Legion's Pride wouldn't be bad right now. We know we got him. We were 1. God, can you imagine playing more than 1 Legion's Pride? Yep, we're still in Ugly Town. What else you got? You ugly bastard. Yeah, I wonder what the best... I should be... I wonder what the best way to get gems is right now. I don't know. I gotta winnow. We're grinding. But, you know, like, my first Primarch was Mortarion, and I didn't open a Mortarion until I was about 3 months through. As I got better at grinding events and making them, even when I could only have like 20 tickets at a time, let's say, like when I didn't tend to have more than that, I just played those tickets as efficiently as I could. What do I want to do here? I don't think anything saves me, sadly. I think I'm dead here. Hey, Kane. You came at a bad time, Kane. I'm gonna die. Well, let's see if he screws up, maybe. Somehow. I've seen some silly stuff done on an event. But I don't think he's gonna... I don't think... Yeah, he's just gonna kill. Yeah, I do try and... I do think that if there's... When they're selling premium decks, if they're selling good warlords with like I've recommended the Kurz alt art deck to people, because not only does it have Kurz, who's a very playable Primarch, it's also got epics that are playable in competitive Kurz. So decks like that, where you have not only a good warlord and good art, but you got some good cards that came with it, that's a pretty good place to be. I stumbled into a ranked game. Okay, sure, let's do it.
I have possessed this body of steel and rage.
I kept running into the same bad matchups for my Nassau on the weekend, so I got frustrated and said I'm just gonna play some Canis games to make up some lost points. Canis is still super good. Bot Russ is sadly very, very weak. And generally, if you're facing Leman Russ with the Titan, you don't need to worry as much about your blasters, but you really need to keep your claws up as long as you can because of stuff like this. Because if this stuff can stick on the board and you can't kill it as soon as it shows up, you're in a lot of trouble. But fortunately, we can kill it. Not going to be so lucky with that. Thank you, Ward. But we'll just put our seatbelt on. My least favorite Legion to fight is totally World Eaters. 100% World Eaters. I really hate World Eaters. Yeah, it's World Eaters. Alpha Legion, I get people's frustration with Alpha Legion, but especially as an Emperor's Children main, Alpha Legion's a good matchup for us. So I've always sort of treated them like prey. I know exactly why they're frustrating. But World Eaters are my bad matchup, and they are really, really tough. And their ability to just sort of run away with some games that you're like, you didn't deserve that, come on. Can be very infuriating in the same way that like Alpha Legion can do similar stuff. I'm just kind of monkeying around while I fight this bot. So yeah, it's World Eaters. When I take a Mortar Strike on curve, especially if I'm going second or something, like that's completely demoralizing to me. As soon any game for the most part where the health difference becomes like 15 health difference between you and the enemy warlord, you'll likely lose that game. And I dare you to keep track of it. Of course, like epic comebacks are possible. It's always possible to kind of get up to some other craziness and find your way out of hot water, but when you're that far behind in health, you become, as a warlord, you become very ineffective because you can't use that health for anything. Yeah, I've heard weird things about the Alpha Legion. I just don't trust them. Would not play this fast and loose against a human, but it's hard to play methodically against a bot when they are almost playing on like random Joker logic. Okay, what do you got for me? Can I kill you yet? Bit by bit. We'll get there. I don't mind not knowing 110% what the Alpha Legion's MO is. I don't mind having some mystery in my storyline, you know? I'm good with that. Like, whether they got visited by an alien race or, you know, or whether, like, the Chaos Gods, like, whispered into their ear, whatever it was that they got up to. Oh, damn, don't I wish I kept that, crack grenade, eh? Protect. Yeah, I like some ambiguity, especially in sci-fi. Makes it fun. I'm good with it. Okay, we have lethal. Hooray. Breach. Awesome. I won't play more Canis. I meant to hit play on the event. I think we took our first or second loss? Second loss. And that was to another Branthan. So we've lost to Branthan and we've lost to a Emperor's Children. Let's go again. And then we visited the shop, yes. Do I want to wear a vest tonight? Yeah, why not? Okay. Don't really want any of these.
By the iron!
Listen to the cacophony of war.
Okay. Exciting. I guess I better just kill you. Yep, he died screaming. This is an ugly, nasty spot to be in. I'm gonna have to go face against it once, one way or the other, in addition to taking 3 damage. Either I'm gonna play the Rain of Fire next turn, if it can, especially if it can net me another dead troop. God, I won't even kill that one. Well, this is the ugliness that Emperor's Children can spring on you when these guys get by. There we go. Amazing. Yeah, so again, whether you're watching live or in posterity, whether you're an Iron Hands player or whatever you're doing, you try and just play the cards to as much advantage as you can. It's not going super awesomely in this game right now, but we'll try and slug away. And so in this game, for example, there's an 11 health point difference between us. Usually, if we're more than 10 health away from our enemy, I consider us in a bad spot. When you're 15 health away, I consider you in a spot where you're likely to lose the game. And so that does mean that starting with a 10 health deficit, like, you can know that, like Lucius versus Alfarius. Lucius starts with 10 health less, but it's a good matchup for Lucius. Still can't just go completely willy-nilly with his ability. Like, he can't just take tons of damage for no reason because we're down 10 health, but it's a good matchup for us. So we're not as deterred by a 10 health difference to start the game. How much friggin' damage am I going to take from these bikes, man? Maybe he can't answer this one, though. You can hopefully save my ass next turn. So this might be loss 3. Let's see. That would tell us that having 2 losses to Marius would tell me that he's a bad matchup for us. We don't want to bump into him. Oh, good. And we're stunned. Okay. These double bikes are really doing a nasty number on us. They are very much hurting us. Oh, God. A ricochet. No. No! Yeah, could well be our third loss. I don't know if we're playing any healing in this. But we're not stunned, so we'll finally get to strap on some Survivor. Yep. Okay, I guess I'm playing you. Jeez. This is a very miserable situation. Oh, God. I think we're taking our third loss.
Death by noise.
Do it. There it is. Well, that was an okay run. I think the deck's good. We didn't get there, but I think the deck's good. I think this deck can definitely do better than 6 victories. I think anyone watching could take the deck to more than 6 victories. So if you're watching, try this one. Or generally just try my method and see if it starts to lend you towards picking out better and better event decks. I'll try and run some more event gameplay, so we can even watch the ugly process of me struggling through like 6-win or 7-win decks and then picking good 12-win decks and rocking out our tickets. So we'll have 5 more single runs at some point. And maybe I'll do a stream for them.